Hi everyone, it's Kimberly, intuitive soul coach and advisor for Twin Flames and those along the ascension journey. I'm here to help you integrate your world. You guys, I want to just give you 3 quick reminders and I'm going to move right on to messages and we'll dig into a May reading for specifically for Twin Flames for Union. We're going to be talking about Beltane. We're going to be talking about Union specifically and what it means for the collective as well as you, the individual. As you guys know, I so seldom focus on Twin Flame Union because I'm all about helping you master yourself so that you can come into union with yourself. And I still am, but I do want to talk about some of the unions that are going to be happening physically as a result and a product of your work that you've been doing on yourself. So let's talk about that in just a moment. So the reminders are, 1, this is my anniversary month. Thank you guys for all your support. 3 years on YouTube. And to celebrate, you can use the code anniversary, all caps, and use that upon booking a session with me on the website spiritualmaterialgirl.com. There's like a little coupon code box before you book the reservation. Just put the code in there and that'll save you a little bit off of each session all month long. You can use it as many times as you want. And then I'm closing out over the next week. I'll be closing out my SMG summer camp. That is a 12-week transformational program to help you heal, integrate, and carry your ascension into all areas of your life. So it's an amazing program. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, I recommend that you do so. There's, limited time left because we've got to get the whole program organized, get your private session scheduled. And so I'm going to be closing it out over the next week. So check that out. And then lastly is I had just announced in my Sunday messages with the Masters reading that I have an audio meditation pack available for you now. It's just designed with you guys in mind. So a lot of you have asked for my cord cutting visualization. Now I've put this into an audio recording. It's more robust. It's more full. It's going to help you facilitate the cutting away any negative energies, letting those dissolve between anyone, you, your twin flame, anyone in your life that you want to clear energy with. And I like this a lot because it's more subtle, it's powerful, but it's subtle in a way that there's not a lot of cutting and it's not harsh in any way, okay? It leaves the purity of any soul connection intact and it teaches you how to do that. So that's available for you and that comes with a 5D meditation tool for connecting with your twin flame. So this I feel like is really necessary because there are limited tools out there and everyone's always asking me, how do I connect with my twin flame in the 5D? So I've put together a very special meditation with you in mind. Those are both available in a 2-pack. You can purchase it right on my website for $11.11. You get both of them. And you can use these weekly. You can use them daily. These are not something that you have to just use once and then be done with. In fact, I recommend that you use them frequently, okay? They're great tools. So check that all out on the website. Today I'm going to be using the Sacred Earth Oracle deck, and then I'm guided to use playing cards today in replacement of the tarot deck. So we'll look into those messages in a moment. First, I want to start talking about Beltane, why this is a big deal for twin flames right now. So let me read you first. I posted something on social media today about Beltane, and I want to read it to you. So Beltane is a Gaelic tradition festival, or Pagan. You could look at it as Pagan festival. The reason why it's important for twin flames right now is because right now is the start of a twin flame union season, okay? And this is going to be an unprecedented thing. We've never seen this before. And it's starting now, and the way I see it is it goes through August, September, where all of these unions, divine reunions, unions are going to be happening a lot in the collective. We're going to see it so much. It's going to be crazy. It's going to give way to what I've been talking about since January 1, you guys. I've been forecasting this. Is from September onward into 2020, we're going to see engagements. We're going to see sacred marriages. We're going to see pregnancies. We're going to see physical union and the result of that. So from now through August, September is a huge union season. Like I said, we haven't seen this before. Okay, so how does Beltane play into all of this? Well, the symbolism is Beltane represents the peak of spring and the beginning of summer. Earth energies are their strongest and most active. All of life is bursting with potent fertility, and at this point in the wheel of the year, the potential becomes conception. On May Eve, the sexuality of life and the earth is at its peak. Abundant fertility on all levels is the central theme. The maiden goddess has reached her fullness. She is the manifestation of growth and renewal. She is called Flora, the goddess of spring, the May Queen, the May Bride. Now, the young Oak King, as Jack in the Green, as the Green Man, falls in love with her and wins her hand. This union is consummated and the May Queen becomes pregnant. Together, the May Queen and the May King are symbols of the sacred marriage, the union of earth and sky. Okay, it's also the union of masculine and feminine. And it's really interesting because I wasn't even thinking in these terms whatsoever. And when I did the channeled message on Sunday, which is the messages from the masters, I think it was April 28th, if you guys want to check it out if you haven't seen it, I was getting all sorts of channeled messages around earth and ethereal. And they were talking about us really integrating that and learning how to blend those. Like, we have to master that within ourselves before we're going to encounter this union in the physical with our twin flames or divine partners. So this is huge. This is about integrating your 5D and your 3D. This is about spiritual and material, right? This is what this is. And it's talking about the mastery of that. It's talking about the balance of that. It's talking about the blend of that. It's talking about reconciling that, because for us still as human beings in a linear time-space reality, there's still somewhat of a segmentation, and that segmentation is also representative of any separation within us in terms of our imbalanced masculine feminine energies, in terms of separation mentality. So this is really all representative of unity consciousness, of the balance of our masculine feminine energies, of a balance between, like ethereal and earth. So we're being asked to find the balance. And particularly, I feel like the feminine is being asked to find that balance, that blend. That's the important thing that she's working on right now. And the masculine is about to embark on, they're using the word embark. He's embarking on a consciousness journey, okay? So that is going to bring major shifts in his life. We're going to see those shifts for the masculine a little bit later in the summer, okay? Summer in Northern Hemisphere, so like after the eclipses, August, okay? Feminine is making a lot of those changes to seek her balance now, okay? Or she has been working on this, or she's going to be working on this over the next few months. Whereas masculine has a consciousness journey to navigate, like where he's actually going to his learning, going to the tools, going to like it's like conscious awakening. Whereas before, as I've said many times, he's been more in the mold of, or the templates of, clearing the fear or having the downloads or epiphanies via karmic lessons. So he's coming out of that. He's actually going into a more conscious awakening cycle. So it's huge because it's what's going to bring him up into his masculine, up into a balanced energy, up into the ability to take action, up into the ability to step into his truth. Feminine, it's like you've already done this. You've already been working on this, okay? Now it's all about your balance, okay? And there are still things that you're working on balancing. There's still things that might be out of integrity. There may still be a way that you're working on balancing all of this. As I've said, also feminine is definitely working on clearing away separation mentality, especially with the masculine from within her, right? Like where she swings in the polarities, where she judges the masculine outside of her. That needs to be reconciled before any of this is going to gel in physical union. So pay attention to that within yourself. So if you're masculine, it's a time of learning. It's a time of awareness. It's a time of coming into your spirituality, letting your third eye, blow open and awaken. It's about your psychic gifts awakening. It's about you learning. It's about you sponging up information. It's about many of the masculine becoming aware of the twin flame phenomenon and maybe identifying his beloved in this way. It's about him seeing his truth in his world, seeing where things are out of integrity for him, and then going into a more conscious journey with that, okay? For the feminine, it's like anywhere things are out of integrity. It's about finding the balance. It's about looking truthfully about the imbalances within her. It's about integrating her world, getting the balance down, and dissolving separation. And I feel like the masculine, as I've been saying, he's going to lead with more of like the spirit of unconditional love. He's not going to have to spend so long mastering it. I don't know why. I just can tell you, like, it's just going to come easier for him. Once the truth comes through, he's going to be able to pioneer. He's going to be the torch holder, as I gave you in the May forecast. If you guys didn't see that, I reposted it on Facebook. And you can watch my May forecast on YouTube, but it's like a transfer of a torch. He's pioneering, and mostly he's pioneering with unity consciousness. He's like able to dissolve separation quicker. And you're going to see like the falling away with him. It's going to come easier for the masculine than it did with the feminine. Okay. And the reason why is because the masculine's making a quick shift into his heart space, a quick shift into embracing his feminine. Whereas the feminine deliberated in her masculine for way too long. So that's why it's coming easier, okay? She deliberated. She was up in her head and trying to figure it all out and, stuck in those old patterns. And so it took her longer. So feminine, you might be envious of the way the masculine's able to do this so quickly and effortlessly and easily. It's going to happen more swiftly for the masculine, okay? Many of the masculine. So that's really interesting. That's coming for a lot. Not everybody, but a lot of you, especially those who have been like lining up, doing the work, especially the feminine who have been pioneering the connection and have been really doing the root work and really doing the alignment work from within. You are now, I feel like, making some of the final tweaks that are going to lead to union. Now, some of you, there's different groups here, and I want to talk about that before I get to the cards. So the way I see it, I'm going to break it down for you in terms of how I see the groups. It's almost like 3 groups. How do I explain it? Let me think about this. Let me sip some coffee so I can think about how to explain it to you. Okay, so it's almost like there's a group who have yet to meet their divine partners. Those divine partners are coming in for you, many of you, over the next 4 months. It's a surprise. It's like, holy shit, that other person was like a catalyst. That's going to be the thing. Like, now I understand why it all happened. And this person is going to spark you awake. Like, oh my God, it's going to be like, they're showing me fire energy. They're showing me, for a lot of you, it's like water signs and fire signs coming together. It feels like fire coming into your life, but it's actually not. Where your emotionality, water signs, is much more imbalanced. I'm sorry, in balance, not imbalanced, in balance now. So it's not going to flood the fire and put it out. You're actually in balance. So this is going to bring some excitement in, and these are actually going to be really great pairings that I feel. Now, it's not going to be all water and fire signs, but I do get for a lot of you that are meeting divine partners, we're going to see this. We're going to see this combo. Or the water fire is going to be like a theme in some aspect of your chart or your charts. We're going to see passion, in these connections. It's going to be excitement beyond your wildest imagination. It's going to be even better than what you were expecting. So, and for some of you, it might come as the big surprise. Okay, so, or you might feel this coming. You might be thinking like, oh, maybe that other person was a catalyst. And catalyst is very important. Like, those are deep soul connections with past life resonance, with, You know, this is not like, it's not to discount whatever connection you were perceiving as twin flame. But what I see is some of you are calling in these divine partners that are coming in over the next like 4 months or so. That will also lead to marriages, births, unions, you know, physical union as well. Okay. Now, there's another group of you who have not, like, are aware of your twin flame at some level, like maybe you're dreaming about it, but you're making the shifts in your karmic partnerships or karmic lives to clear the space for this person to show up. Some of these are people that like you knew from the past that you're emerging with, and you're going, oh my God, this is a twin flame. These are people who don't know that they're twin flames yet, who are having an awakening, who are making the shifts to release themselves from karmic partners, who are maybe just getting on this journey and just identifying with the twin flame. You know, you're going to be coming on a path like this with your twin, and it's going to start in a dream state. Okay, it's going to start for you in a dream state is what I'm getting. It's going to start where the twin or the feeling of this person or the essence of them is coming in your dreams. And that's going to wake you up. That's going to help you wake up and look at your current reality and say, what's not working here? Why do I feel like this doesn't align with me anymore? It's that feeling that that other person is sort of showing you or sending you in a dream state that's helping you awaken to this, even if you don't even realize it, or even if you're just starting to realize it or identify with the twin flame phenomenon. Now, there's another group, right? And it's those of you who have been in separation with your twins, who will be coming through these long separations and actually merging now. And this is a product of the work that you've been doing on yourself. I would say you have carried the torch the longest. I would say that it's been not a easy journey for you. And it took a while to get into the mastery. And you're still working on it. And it's going to feel like a huge reward for you. It's going to feel like, alas, is it going to be all peaches and cream? No. But it's time, and you're going to see that it's time now to come together. Like you've done enough work to set up the harmonious union where you can come together and sustain it harmoniously without any more of the runner-chaser dynamic. Will it, like I said, will it be peaches and cream? Maybe not, you know, but it's still going to be something that you can sustain. And just in the sustainability of it, you're going to be able to build like a foundation. You're going to be able to build and create a life or create a mission together. It's emerging. It's a merging of paths. It feels like a long time coming. It feels like an arduous journey. It feels like one that was wrought with struggle for both. And I think those who have had the most I want to say this in a unique way because I don't want it to be misinterpreted, but it's almost the ones who have been the most stubborn in their past lives or have had the most karma in between them that are feeling this karma being cleared now so that they can merge together. The ones who haven't met the twin yet are just coming upon this phenomenon and it's coming through the dream state. The past life resonance feels like coming across oceans. Like there isn't a lot of karma that needs to be cleared up, but there was always a feeling in past lives of oceans between you. Okay, so if that feels familiar for any of you, like that's what they're showing me right now. And those who have yet to meet their divine partner and, you know, maybe you thought it was someone else and this person's coming in, it's an unexpected big surprise. The past life resonance feels like coming across like just having to just get through lifetimes to finally find one another again, okay? It's been like this endless quest or an endless search and you'll recognize it as soon as you see it, as soon as you feel it, okay? And I'm pretty sure about these 3 categories. So feel into that. You might need to rewind and listen to me say it again and listen to me talk about the past life karma for each, what it feels like. I can feel it with the clients I work with. I can feel it as downloads from the collective. I can just feel it. There's such a unique, there's like 3 pillars almost of this, and it's all sorts of past life karma. That's, so I'll say it again too, so you get the feeling of it. The ones who have the big surprise, the new person showing up, that's just like, oh, so now it all makes sense, this journey. It's going to feel like this, like coming through lifetimes, like to an endless quest that has now been fulfilled. Okay? The ones who are dreaming about the twin flame, that don't really know that they're on this journey, it feels like oceans of separation. There have been oceans of separation. Not being separated by miles, distance, oceans, circumstances in past lives that have put oceans between you or distance. And now these could be people that met in early life and now reunite in later life. This could be just, again, that feeling of, it just feels like oceans in between, okay? And then those of you who have had that arduous journey, you've been on this path for years, you've known it, maybe as a feminine, and you've had just like, the masculine hasn't seen it, and there's been this struggle, and feminine, you've been working on yourself, and there's just been like a lot of karma clearing, karmic partners, and all sorts of stuff that needed to line up, that's taken like really years for it to line up. That feels much more like just so many lifetimes of not getting it right. So many lifetimes of just like something not lining up, or some karmic thing, some circumstantial thing being out of alignment where it couldn't come together. One of you was married and one of you, couldn't marry outside, they couldn't leave the karmic, or married through because of, wealth or money or status. And one of you was lower, one of you was higher. There was always some dramatic reason why you couldn't get it together. Maybe you were in the same physical arena and the same physical space many, many lifetimes, but you couldn't get there together. And this karma, that's why it feels like such an arduous journey. That's why it's been so hard in this lifetime, because you've cleared so much of this karma. There's so much karma to clear. Yes, twins have karma. Yes, they do. So if anyone tells you twins don't have karma, that's not true. So that's huge. So I hope that helps some of you. I don't even know where that all just came from. This was not anything that had been delivered to me as fully as it just was. So I hope that that's helpful. So let's go into these messages. Like I said, they asked me to use the playing cards today, and the Sacred Oracle deck to kind of represent this Beltane, this earth and sky union. And let's just see overall messages, validation of these messages for us. Okay, and I'm still going to come back for a separate new moon and Taurus reading, so this will be separate from that. So there's a lot coming up around our psyche, and let's just see. Okay. We'll use the playing cards as clarifiers. So we have preservation. So this is where we are stepping back from anything that isn't working, that this is for some of you, you've been working on this. You've been pulling away from anything toxic, some of you are about to make this change. As I said, especially the feminine, I feel, are waking up to, I can't do this anymore. I can't put myself in this situation that is toxic for me, that is not in alignment for me, that I have to pull back my energy. And this is pulling back your energy, and self-preservation is helping you gain a new perspective. It's helping you rise above the situation to see a bigger perspective. For some of you, it's because you feel something larger calling to you. You might not know exactly what that is right now. Like I said, for many of you, you have divine partners who haven't even come in yet, that are either coming to you through dream state or going to show up in your physical as like kind of a big surprise. So that pull might be encouraging you, whether you realize it consciously or not, to preserve. So feel like it's just the alignment with self, of value, of realigning with your integrity, rediscovering your integrity, that is helping you self-preserve. So it's almost like we see her pregnant here, and this is perspective. And we saw this come up I think in the reading on Sunday. And it's really about the bigger picture, but it's also this notion of like, we have the world in our hands. Like, we're not doomed by like our current circumstance. We can pull back and create new. We can pull back and create a greater outcome. We can pull back and see a much bigger picture, and that includes all possibilities. So they're also saying perception. So perception is everything. This is talking about your intuitive perception versus your mental perception of things. So it's asking us to rely more on our, third eye, on our gut, on our inner knowing, rather than our mental perception or linear thinking. This is where I feel like is another fusion between like earth and ethereal, because they want us to ground in the higher timelines, right? And they want us to ground in those things that feel possible up here, but maybe don't feel possible in our 3D lives. And in order to do that, we've got to shift our perception, and that means releasing the constraints of the linear thinking. That's really being highlighted in a huge way right now. So look at where you're limiting yourself by analyzing what is in the reality, what is in the 3D for you. How are you limiting yourself? How can you rise above that? How can we take a broader perspective? How can we shift our perception by going more into the intuitive knowing, by listening to the higher realms and seeing it from a broader scope? And this involves all possibilities. Whereas when you're getting your energy sucked in the 3D, or you're letting your energy succumb to what is like right here, right now, you're not able to lift up and access all that information, right? It's like a lower vibrational. This also feels like the segue from a lower vibrational place into a much higher vibrational place. So if any of you are experiencing that right now, where you're pulling out of low vibe energies and, starting to exalt your own energy and learning like how to do that dance, then this is like representative of that for you. So they're talking about expectation. So this is like, I feel like goes in tandem with Beltane, because they're talking. So like you can look at the expectant mother, right? The conception. You're like expecting, like what do you say to someone who's pregnant? Oh, you're expecting? Like when is your baby due? And the problem is that you might be like, okay, I'm not pregnant. Like maybe I'm nurturing some creative things, or, I'm expecting union. But I don't know how that looks. And, and that's it's different than saying, okay, I'm pregnant. I know I'm expecting a baby. And this is saying, like, if you hook on to the expectation of my union's going to look like this, my mission's going to look like this, I need this to happen on my timeline, it's not going to happen that way. And this is why this is in reverse for us, because we've got to open up to the unexpected, to the bigger and better and brighter than we ever thought it could be. So it's more about expecting the best, right? Like understanding that we're birthing something, that there's a union coming, that there's this rebirth and this new birth and new life coming, and a union coming, but that it's not going to come to fruition through linear fear-based attachment and controlling it. And it's more through looking up and allowing it to show up for us and knowing it's just bigger than we can even imagine. Okay? So they're saying how, like they're telling us how it's going to happen. So it's going to happen through motion. Okay? So this is about action that you're taking. This is about getting yourself in motion. This is about motion without, we're coming out of a period of stagnancy. This means that we needed to rest. This means that we needed to regroup. April was a heavier month in terms of purging. We needed to do that. We have been making changes, and then we've needed to rest after we make the changes. We've been reconciling things on the inside in our inner heart and mind. And then now it's time to really set things in motion. So that means the doing, but more from inspired action, as I always say, right? As you just move towards the vitality of your life, of renewing your life force energy, of doing anything that makes you feel good, of moving towards your passions, your talents, your art, your creativity, moving in a physical sense towards nature, anything, like I said, that renews your life force energy. That's what's going to bring about these changes in your life. This is where the renewal is coming in. It's coming from that motion. So if you've been spending a lot of time, hermiting or in your bed or resting, like I do feel like we're going to have a bump up of life force energy. And some of that is going to be created through you by you going to your passions, by you listening to what feels good. Again, this is moving away from the lower vibe energies, the things that have made you feel tired and have pulled at your energy. And it's up to you to reconnect with your passions. It's up to you to reconnect with the things that make you feel alive, like literally, that bring about the creativity and the love in your heart and the feeling of freedom and the feeling of anything is possible. Okay? And this is where we're seeing the renewal. So, and I do feel like this motion, this returning to ourselves, this renewal of our life force energy is going to continue to amp up from now all the way through, July. We're really going to be in motion. And as we do that, the new landscape is going to be created for us. We're going to start to see the new landscape fall into place. It's a new landscape. There's new friendships. There's new soul tribe. There's new mission work. There's a lot of newness coming in. Okay. So we have the balance card. And what was I talking about? I was talking about the balance, the female balancing, the dance between reconciling the 3D and the 5D and how we, find our balance in the physical world. This is also about masculine, feminine energies. But I really do feel like right after this is shift. It's coming in reverse. So shift is, they're saying balance, and then the shift is going to come. Okay. And we're going to be stretching ourselves into, this is talking about a stretch. So in order to stretch, I feel like in a new direction and really like move out of our comfort zone, move away from all the fear-based programming, move, like so where we start to create like a whole new life and a whole new way of being. Like to create that shift, that's such a stretch from where you've been, from this giving your energy to low vibe things, to being stuck in these karmic cycles. There's such a freedom coming through. But first, we must find balance. And the balance is delicate, and the balance is subtle, and the balance takes practice. That's what we're doing right now, especially the feminine is practicing this balance. I feel like also this is the representative of the shifting that's happening with the masculine and coming into his feminine energy and being able to stretch beyond what he thought was possible in his life, coming into your truth in a new way and owning that. This is like stretching our imaginations so that like anything is possible. A lot of messages around possibility, opening up to possibilities is coming through right now for me. So the bottom of this deck is Rediscovery in reverse. So this is rediscovering your child self. Like I said, it's reconnection to your passions, to your life force energy, to your truth, to your inner wisdom, your inner knowing. It's, who have we kept locked up in here? Is it the emotionality of your inner child? Is it the creativity? Is it the passion? Is it what truth have we been locking down by these, staying stuck in these templates, or being stuck in like these lower vibrational situations, or being stuck in the constraints of our mind or our logical thinking? So open to possibility, okay? Expect the unexpected, but expect it to be all positive. Exalted timelines, highest things to be delivered to you as you clear the things that are no longer serving you out of the way. So let's look at this through the eyes of the playing cards. I don't know why they want me to use the playing cards. I had made this recommendation to a client earlier in the week. I said, they're showing me playing cards for you. And sure enough, they're showing it to me too. So now, so we're getting 2 of Swords. So, or 2 of Spades. So this is about communication. So this is about, I feel like for some of you, who are thinking about leaving like karmic partnerships, you haven't communicated it yet, or you're trying to and it's not being heard or received. And it's important for you to clarify your stance now, okay? Because it's going to, you have to own your stance and then you have to clarify it. For some of the twins who are in separation, this is about, there's some of you who need to communicate at this time, and it could be just that you need to communicate on a higher level. There's a communication that's necessary. Maybe not in the 3D, like where you physically reach out, but definitely in the 5D. There has been some failure to communicate, some like disconnect, somewhere in this physical world where maybe the resentments are still present, the hurt, well, I don't know if this person's changed yet or what's going on. They're saying check in for a 5D communication. And for some of you, this might mean that physical communication is going to come through too. And you're going to be able to communicate in a new way soon. But this failure to communicate also feels like where we've had closed heart chakras, where we've not been aligned with our integrity, and we haven't been able to communicate what our true needs are, what our true desires are, and speak from our heart and in a balanced way. So for some of you, you might be really craving that It's more of like an emotional, mental sort of union that's going to happen before your physical union is going to happen. It's more of a mental, emotional, spiritual communication that's going to happen before physical communication is going to happen. So maybe that's why I was just called to put together this 5D audio recording for this meditation. If you guys want it, like I said, it's on the website. It's available to you. That might be a good way to start, especially if you feel like you have felt the pull for communication, but you've been denying it, or you've been feeling like, oh, I don't want to go there, or like, oh, that feels blocked, or oh, I have got resentment, or oh, I'm not sure. This might be the time to explore that, okay? Oops. So we have the 9 of Clubs, and this is like the 9 of Wands, you guys. So it's like, I feel like it's you're almost there. Like, don't give up. And it's the long journey I've been talking about. It's like you're almost there is what they're saying. So just because it feels like a long time coming in the physical, don't give up now. And you might not know exactly how it looks in the physical. That's the thing you need to give up. That's the expectation that needs to be released. Okay? I feel like if this could have come up in reverse, it would be coming up in reverse. But we're playing cards right now, so it's like, right? So we have the mirror. But this is like that arduous journey that the ones I was talking about, like, been through this long process, that clearing all this karma, that, the struggle and everything. Release the expectation of how you thought it was going to show up, because you're almost there. It's all going to bloom now in the physical. You're about to anchor it all in. Don't stand in your own way is the message too. And some of you are receiving the higher messages from dreams, and this is also a message about, like, don't let your fears, like, there's some fear attachment here that needs to be released before it can show up for us in the physical better, more exalted. That's important. Okay. Put these over here, stack them. And it's interesting too, because we have 2 and 9, which is 11. Okay. Okay, and now we have 4 of Clubs, which is like the 4 of Wands, right? So this is a lot about the physical, about how we're anchoring things in. And this is about, the recoup period that you're emerging from. This is about coming out of that sort of period of rest, of, and it's talking about the need for action, right? Like, this is what we saw here with the motion card. This is like, it's time to come out of that period of rest. That's already happened. Now it's time to take action towards that. This is about moving forward in the physical, but it's not taking action towards the preconceived notion or the fear-attached expectation. It's about taking just inspired action towards our life force energy, towards what fulfills us. And through that will be the fulfillment of the full renewal of the better than we expected showing up in our lives. So it's important that you listen to this. It's important that you put your energy in the right places now, like that you've pulled back to rest, to preserve. Now think about where you're allocating your energy, okay? Only give your energy to the things that feel good to you. Only give your energy to things that feel uplifting, to activities, people, situations, goals, whatever it is, mission, work. Only give your energy to that. So this could also signify that some of you might be really reconsidering, like, your path, like your career path. Like, I feel like this is like goals and energy that you're putting towards only what fulfills you in a work capacity as well, okay? So it's important that you're aligning with this. And this might mean some shifts coming in your physical, like, job or role or something like that for some of you. A reconsidering of your job or role or path or work, okay? Well, we've got two now. We've got the Ace of Spades and the Four of Hearts. So the Four of Hearts, like Four of Cups, and then the Four of Spades. I'm sorry, the Ace of Spades, like the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is the clarity, the truth coming through. It's that cutting through. Okay, and what they're saying is, like, we're going to have more of a connection because we've turned inward and we've, like, found the truth within our heart, and we've found this sort of reconnection to what makes us tick. That's going to create this cutting through, this new beginning, this is my truth and this is where I'm moving towards. Okay, but we've needed to go inside and reassess, like, what that is and reconnect with what makes us tick is what they're saying. That's huge. Okay, this has been a necessary turning inwards that we have needed, that we've been doing throughout this, I think, this winter, and even in the month of April too, in the final purging that we've just done. It's setting us free to go into our truth, to cut through. And this sword energy feels like we're also, like, or the spade energy feels like we're now ready to take action. We're now ready to move towards that truth. We're actually going to be physically moving towards that truth in the next several months, okay? And I love how the fours are coming up because of, it feels like around the duality of this, the synchronicity is 4, and I'm talking about over the next 4 months, right? So it's like May, June, July, and August is what we're talking about. And also, I feel like these are representative of the preparation that we've needed behind the scenes, going inward, and then about, like, the planning, the strategy, and the going forth, and the physical plan of action, and that's all coming, okay? In the bottom of the playing card deck is the Five of Hearts, which is like the Five of Cups, right? So this is about turning to the new, right? This is about letting the past be the past now, turning towards the new, letting any of the residual sadness or the despair or the it didn't go well in the past or the heartache or the heartbreaks or the letting that all go now, and now turning in that new direction and knowing that the future is so much brighter than you expected. And this is also for some of you guys that have been in separation. This is about letting go of the hurts of the past so that you can turn to the union, to the 2 cups that are upright, right? Letting the ones that have fallen down, let that go. Let that be the past. For some of you, this is like new lover showing up, new, it's a new direction. It's a new person. It's a new energy. This is about old karmic endings. This is about letting it all fall away now because we have something new in front of us that is showing up. It's at our doorstep, really is. So I hope that is helpful for you. And I'll see you again at the end of the week for the new moon, or in a few days I'll come back with the new moon and Taurus forecast. Love you guys. Mwah.